Hi there. Welcome back. How are you today? All right. A follow up from the third stage. The third stage. What was the third stage about? Ideation. Now, from the ideation mode, we are moving towards the prototype mode. This is also very exciting, but not as exciting as the ideation mode. Like I said, that's my favorite section. But this one is really bringing that idea to life. Now, let's just say once you have your final idea selected, yeah. Let me just show you my iPad again. Now, let's just say if you've got your final idea selected, let's say you like this one, okay? Let's say you like this idea, and then you want to bring this idea to life. Now, the next step is to do this. Draw that idea or try to illustrate that idea in a more detailed fashion. Now, you notice that maybe this is some kind of bag. Remember, I was sketched it out. So perhaps a little bit more detail, okay, and perhaps, yeah, some functions to it, okay. And how would it be how would it look like in a much closer view? And it's got little pockets here, so maybe oh yeah, maybe there is some kind of handle here, yeah. And then maybe there's a little loop here for something, and maybe there's a large zipper pocket right here, another zipper pocket right here, and maybe there's something here for the headphones. Maybe there's a little thing here that maybe this is a spy bag. So I'm being too whimsical at the moment. I'm just having fun. Am I? Oh well, that's one thing you gotta do. Please have fun. I like you to have as much fun as possible. Just doing this, I don't want you to stress yourself out. But maybe you're stressed doing other assignments. Then when it comes to this CCTS, like therapy, have fun, laugh about it, be silly, yeah. Not too silly, I mean, okay, that's fine. I mean, just like be silly. All right, so now so you got a little bag here, okay. So maybe so you have it in detail, then you add some color to it, okay. So you could maybe add a little bit of color to it or something, yeah. All right, so this is your sketch of your prototype. Now let's just say once you've done the coloring bit, and I know I haven't completed this yet, but I just wanted to show you this. Once you've done that, so maybe you could have a little arrow pointing to this, and here you could write something that it has something material, something. So, and then here could be, now your prototype does not have, for example, if your bag was made of cloth, so it does not necessarily have to be made of the real actual thing. For example, if your prototype is some kind of a robot or some kind of drone that can do this or whatever, it doesn't mean that you got to create a real drone with all the electronics and everything. You just have to create something that looks almost like it. That's what a prototype is. It does not have to have the actual thing. It can be entirely made out of cardboard. I once was part of a team that created a prototype, a prototype slide for our campus in Taylor's campus, where people can slide down the floor. It would be fun to slide, isn't it? So we made a model out of cardboard. That's basically it. Now, if you're gonna, the only thing is we're not seeing physically, face to face to show that, but you could actually do one at home and take a snapshot of that and put that in your Google site ePortfolio. That'll be good enough. But have fun doing it as detailed as you can. But use whatever you can find at home, recyclable things. Just to recycle it and reuse it. That's the word I was looking for, Charles. Okay, so that's basically it. So then name, specify materials, color, function, things like that. You could actually do things like blow up, have whatever, and so on and so forth. So you got, so do a really nice detailed sketch of your final idea. So this is considered like a final idea, So your final idea, and maybe you have a name for this idea. Okay, what is the name of that particular thing, what you suggest it be called? So now there are tons of ways to do this. There are lots of ways. Now, as you can see, you can use cardboard to create just about anything. Now, if you don't have a lot of cardboards, you can use paper, you could use plastic bottles, whichever. Now, a prototype is basically everything that you have could be scaled down. Let's say if your prototype is some kind of jetpack or some kind of plane or some kind of space station, doesn't mean you got to one-to-one scale. It doesn't have to be that way. You can create a scaled down version of it. Now, who's going to stop you from having ideas, man? No one. Ideas is a precious commodity today. Ideas is going to be ideas is going to be so expensive. Ideas is precious. I mean, ideas is going to be that one thing that make you richer than anybody else. But then again, this is not really about the money, is it? But it's the idea that's so valuable that, yeah, there you go. Charles, stop talking. All right, a simulation sample. Well, prototypes are basically simulated things about your ideas. You're simulating what can be possible. Now, do you know what innovation really means? Now, I'll post these videos separately so you can watch them. So I'm just gonna. Now you see these are sample prototypes. Some people like to use materials, all kinds of found materials, but not just that. They use Lego. Especially like, let's say if one of your ideas is about a business venture, or some kind of restaurant, or some kind of a service, part of the service industry. Yeah, you can do things like this. Yeah, you could kind of illustrate it. And if you're actually designing a bag or something, then it can be like this. Okay. Now, prototypes. One of the one of the important words that we often encourage you to look at is the word iterate. Do you know what iterate really means? Now, iterate means to go back and forth. Back and forth. You know what happens when you actually try to construct bring an idea to life? As you making it into a 3D thing, okay? As you make it into a 3D thing, then this you thought could be it, right? Then again, if you look back at your physical creation, you might think you might need to change something. Perhaps something like that needs to change. You know why? Now, this is the important bit. For each stage of this, after you make a 3D idea, just like the final idea that you had earlier, that one you need to kind of like show your user, and if your user gives feedback, then you're going to have to use that feedback to examine what changes need to be taken. So here you need feedback from user. Now remember, whatever that you're doing this is for the user. Okay, now the user could be people around you, could be your colleagues, your friends. Yeah, so you could decide. Now the user will have to, you have to show the user, okay, what do you think of this? Then the user gives a, well, I don't like this bit over here. So now this bit over here needs to change. So the change part goes back to the final idea. Okay, right? It goes back to the final idea, re-sketch it, or then again just keep working on the 3D thing, and then move forward with it. So sorry, I wrote the wrong thing here. Iterate. Now the iteration is going back and forth. It's like zigzag. Okay, moving back and forth, back and forth. You do it, then you show the user. The user says, okay, this is better, but I would like to do this. Then you go back there. Then you do it, go back to the user. And if the user says, splendid, then you've done it. So you're going to have to iterate, means you're going to have to keep showing the user and seeing if this is okay. So that's why we always encourage you to have more than one final idea. Like for example, more than one sketch. If you have like, if you have like 3 sketches of this, it'd be better than just showing one, because one may not sort of like may not necessarily grab the user's full agreement to it. So try to have 2 or 3 sketches. So yeah, so you keep going forward, so the iterate process is like this whole cyclical thing, just keep changing and reworking and amending and improvising, and that's basically it. So that's already, at that stage, you're already working on a prototype. So that's what the prototype stage is all about. But remember, once you have the final ideas from the ideation side, and then going towards the prototype stage, the final ideas, like I just showed you, this is what you would have before you start constructing the physical version. Now once you have this, but sometimes if you don't have the physical version, if yours is like more like a map, that's fine as well. It doesn't have, not all solutions are physical versions. They can be 2D versions, it could be a drawing, it could very well be a book, could be a booklet, it could be something that's non-physical too. Yeah, so think about that. So this is important. At this stage, you need to show your user these suggestions. So some of these idea suggestions, remember, try to have 3, maybe 4. Now usually I used to tell myself try to have 5. But maybe 5 is way too many, but I don't know, 5 is a good number. So that's basically it, right? Now back to this. Yeah, so explore this. So prototype stage is a very important stage. It's probably the last stage, because now after you've completed it, all you need to do is test it. Okay, like I said, show your user, see whether it works, look at what the flaws are, yeah, and so on. So some of the rules of prototyping is to fail quickly. Now remember, failure is an option. Yeah, that's the beautiful thing about design thinking. Failing is cool. You know why? It gives you an opportunity to make it better and better and better. Isn't that what life is all about? Now, nobody wants you to fail. Nobody wants to fail. But what if you try and you didn't make it? Don't be too hard on yourself. That's not the whole point. The point is getting up. The design thinking is about you stepping up, okay, and not giving up on what you have. Doesn't matter how it is. You just don't quit. So fail quickly. That's fine. Fail 10 times. Good. It's all right. It's fine. It's the attempt. Test it out. Test out your prototype. Now, if it's testable, if you can actually interact with it or whatever, can. But if it's just make believe or simulated version, that's fine. But the most important thing is the feedback from your user. If your user can give you the feedback, all the better. So there you go. So start building. Have fun with it. Again, I just got to keep telling you, enjoy the entire process. Get lots of feedback. Test, refine, and so on. Okay, so we already covered the last stage of the design thinking process already here. The last stage is to present your work, and to present your work is basically to kind of like test and present. Prototype, test, presenting they work hand in hand, because you have to show your prototype to your user give feedback, kind of like the test is going on. So try, error, iteration, rooms of improvement all happen during this stage. It's not like a presentation. Here it is, whatever, that's it, I'm done. That's not what it is. Presentation here, the final part of presenting your prototype, is really about allowing rooms of improvement, getting feedback, refining it. That's what it is. Because it's never like a finished thing, isn't it? So preparing more than one prototype as comparison, if you can, but I would say fall back on the final idea sketches like I showed you. Okay, that's fine for us. Now, if you think you can create more than one prototype, you're most welcome to do so. You never know, you'll have extra extra marks extra marks for that. Yeah. So there you go. So these are some examples of quick and dirty prototype development, things like that. Yeah. Like I said, prototypes does not have to consist of something physical. It depends on what you have as a problem in the first place, what you're approaching that, how you're approaching that. So these are just examples, yeah, how developments take place in real life, in the real industry. For example, bag designers and things like that. Their early prototypes are made of very cheap materials, right? And specific, more, different kinds of materials. And if you notice at every stage, you notice there are changes to it. Yeah. So here there's one change, very rough prototype here, but then the final version kind of looks like this. You can see there's some buckles and whatever. Yeah. Right. So same thing. All early stage prototypes start very humble way. They come with different approaches, they use different materials, but they always improvise. They test out components, Yeah, in the real industry they do things like this. Yeah, there's no limit to what you can do with materials, found materials, paper, things like that. Cardboard is always the ideal one. Yeah. Wireframes. So there you have it. The 5 phases of design thinking. So this is what design thinking is all about. So congratulations. If you have seen this last video, you have completed all the design thinking briefing and lectures. So there are other videos that you can watch, all the assignment videos. So check it out, or I could meet you live and we can discuss the assignments live then. So do you want another little challenge? Now, if you want a challenge, why don't you do this? And the last time I told you you are surrounded by zombies thing, the last challenge, right? Now that last challenge, remember to, you can draw it out, draw out that kit, and you can put that in your Google site ePortfolio. But I'm just trying to figure out something simple and interesting. Okay. Oh, the cleverness of you. Figure this out. Vinyl dolls of rock, film and sport stars synthesize a personality down to its most obvious features. What is your most extreme characteristic? What is your most extreme characteristic? Create a vinyl doll that visualizes your defining trait. So basically, just draw yourself as a doll in like a mini me, So design your own mini me, like a doll in the packaging. How would you as a doll look like in a packaging? That's basically what it is. So okay, if you can draw that out and whatever, just post that in the FB group page. Another way is turn yourself into a meme, but I like the mini me thing. Maybe you can design yourself. How would you look like as a doll in a little packaging? So think about that. And it is not a compulsory thing. You want to do this, it's fine. Don't want to do it, it's all cool. But if anyone who does it, do share it in the FB group page and post it as well in your Google site ePortfolio as a fun thing. Okay, side mission. So that's about it. Now, stay safe, be encouraged, stay creative, and I'll see you during the lecture sessions. Take care. Bye bye then. Live long and prosper.